And so what we're initially going to try and do here, let me kind of get it to where the camera can see, is taking your fancy dancy tool, and now that the card has some moisture to it, more or less just kind of trying to put it back to where it needs to be.
All right, cool. Well, hey, take two.
Take two.
Full
And
disclosure,
it's
everyone.
Dallas
We
Card Show week. Are you coming down or what?
Oh, I wish, dude. I wish.
Ah,
Kid life and stuff. I can
yep,
kind of
yep.
I can budget in maybe one or two stops up there a year. I was already at the last one, so I'm planning on is it August or September?
August or
September, I think.
it's right. It's right before football season kicks off. It's like always opening weekend of the NFL. I feel like.
I'll be at that one for sure. So looking forward to it. So hey everybody, I'm talking to John at CardSpot, Texas. Full disclosure, we did a pod about a month ago. My audio was all wonky and messed up, so this is take two. So I've had the pleasure of already talking to him, and so we're gonna do a take two right now. And I have a cool thing. I actually sent him one of my cards, and he's gonna actually walk us through kind of what he's done and what the hopes are for the Griffey Jr. card. So John, thanks again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, it was fun the first time, so heck, why not? We'll call it episode two.
Why not? We should be that much more polished or not. We'll see. So, he is from the Dallas area. Is it Frisco? I know that's where your office is, right?
Yeah,
Or
so
am I
our
making that
office
up?
is up in Frisco. Been in the DFW area pretty much my whole life. Been running around here in between Fort Worth and Dallas, mostly on the Fort Worth side, but came over here with my wife back in 2015 timeframe. And
Mhm.
just kind of been over in the Plano Frisco area ever since.
Nice. And unfortunately, you know people like Cruz, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Never.
I
Yeah.
Cruz is one of those guys I know. Dinah, True, Bowman Draft, D
All the
Flat,
hoodlums.
all the guys, all the guys.
So this is a fun one because while John used to be a streamer, he actually doesn't stream right now. And you're thinking, well, this is weird because you only sit down with streamers. Not true. While he was a streamer for a long time, he actually made a really cool, I guess, evolution to a different aspect of our hobby. So we're going to talk about the card spot Texas right now. So let's take a step back, John. So you obviously we all start as collectors.
Yep.
You started streaming, I believe, 3 years ago, I want to say, and then eventually, oh, first of all, before that, he came from the oil fields. So what a cool transition that is, oil
Yeah.
fields to the hobby. And then so while he was streaming, he was part time, but then an opportunity arose, and I'll kind of let you take it from there on how the origin story of how you got to where you are right now.
Yeah. So I was a safety manager in the oil and gas field for a long time and did cards on the side. It was kind of one of those things, needed something to turn my brain off at night, especially when you get off shift. And so when you'd just be sitting there, hotel rooms, trailers, I started watching Kurt's Card Care and just seeing how he could take a card, put it in a bowl of what looked like water, and pull it out, and it looked completely different and it
Hmm.
wasn't damaged in any sense, right? And I was beyond intrigued, and some of the other things that he was doing with modern cards. And so I kind of started experimenting. And like you said, I was running Whatnot shows, TripleJ Sports, as some of you guys may have bought or been hanging out in the Whatnot streams back in the day. It was a ton of fun, and that was a good way for me to kind of get inventory. And I wasn't grading everything at that time because I was mostly focused on doing my Whatnot streams. I was hanging out with Cruz and Dinah and Biggs at that time. Bowman Draft and D Flat were also kind of doing it with us as well. And it was just a fun atmosphere for the boys to get together at our local card shop. We were trying to buy as many cards as we could. We were going to shows together. And then we kind of scheduled ourselves out throughout the week on, hey, I'm going to stream on Monday. You're going to stream on Tuesday. Cruz is going on Thursday. Who's picking up Friday and Saturday? We go buy big collections with each other. And, nonetheless, as you're doing it, you kind of learn that grading is a good way to, okay, I just bought this card for $100 and a PSA 10, it can go for upwards of two, three, four, $500, right? Well, that's crazy. I bought this card for $80. Would be pretty cool to sell that for upwards of that, right? And so kind of started dabbling in that, seeing what it was like. Sent a couple orders to SGC just because I heard PSA was hard. I didn't want to dabble in that. I wasn't ready yet. And so I did pretty good at SGC my first couple times, started sending stuff to PSA and just kind of took it from there and was taking the knowledge that I was watching on Kurt's Card Care and adapting it to the mass amounts of cards that we were buying and selling on Whatnot. And one night I was running a Whatnot show and nonetheless saw there was an issue with the card, pulled out my little kit, did it right there on camera, showed everybody how you could fix something. And nonetheless, it slowly started this trickle of, you said you were grading 200 cards last week, but you're running 300 cards on a stream. Are we sure these are good cards? It's like, hey, they're not damaged. There's nothing wrong with them. I just don't think they're going to get PSA 10s per se. And so kind of just made that full circle into maybe Whatnot streams. I'll just go support my homies and be the guy on the sidelines, be a good moderator, and just start cleaning cards and doing that.
Mhm.
And so kind of moved away from Whatnot and more into the local shows, started grading a lot more. And then I don't know, one day one of my buddies, David and Bowman Draft, they were constantly batting on me, dude, just start cleaning cards at shows. You'll make so much money. Just do it for other people. See what they do. And Jason, the guy that's with me in the cards ball now, he kind of came to me and was kind of explaining, hey, this is the way you should do it. This is how you should do it. And nonetheless, it ended up doing really, really well. And here we are, the cards ball,
Yeah.
Texas.
It's awesome because it goes to show that the hobby is so I want to say complex where you don't have to just sell cards to be successful and profitable and have fun, right? You're a perfect example of someone who saw a need in the fact that, I mean, you look at PSA right now. I mean, have you seen, I mean, I think
Oh
of
my gosh.
their backlog 3 million plus. Like
It's the rumor mill spins every day, right? There's always
it
something new.
does.
Oh, somebody just sent us tip treats. Number one customer coming in.
Boom.
Hopefully there's some Dubai chocolate cookies for all y'all.
For
Remember
you,
now?
For you non-Texans, Tips Treats is a delivery service that they make their own cookies, and they're some of the best cookies you'll ever have in your
They
life.
make Dubai chocolate chip cookies, and I blame
Ooh, I've
Iris,
never had those.
Cruz's helper, Cruz's manager. Let's be real, what Iris is. She got me addicted to those Dubai cookies, and man, oh, they're so good. They're so good.
So my camera's all wonky. John, I want you to talk to me like a third grader. Like maybe some people don't understand the power of why people grade and aspire to get PSA 10s.
Yeah, yeah,
So maybe
yeah.
just take a step back and kind of like, why do people grade? What are the hopes and dreams of getting a PSA 10?
So let's take a Cooper Flag Auto for
Nice.
instance, right? You pull this card, you're sitting there, you're wondering what the heck happens. I don't know the exact comps off my head, so please don't quote me on any of these numbers. But let's say Rod's doing $1,500, right?
Yep.
Now, on that particular card, because of what it's valued at, you're going to need to put it on a particular PSA level. Of course, you can just throw it on bulk. It's going to take 3 to 4 months to get back. You're going to get upcharged and you're going to go, man, I just got upcharged to a service level that takes 25 days. What the heck? Well,
Mm-hmm.
put it on the correct service level, put it on regular, super express, something of that level, get it back into the appropriate time. And if this card gets a PSA 10, it could be worth 3,000, 4,000. It could be worth 5,000. It kind of depends on who the player is, what the player is, and what it's doing at that time.
I'm going to interrupt you and I'll give you some live data. The last Raw sold for 1,000. The last PSA 10 sold for $5,400.
I mean, so
So
you're talking
what a
five and a
perfect
half X
example.
your money, right? And
Yeah.
so on that PSA level, you're probably paying about $300 to $400 to send it out to PSA grading. Um, so let's say you even buy it at that $1,000, you're $1,500 into that card, you're still 4X in your money. I mean,
Amazing.
that's hard to not self-explain to a third grader, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna give you $5, and if you let me have that $5 in 2 months, I'm gonna return a $20 bill. Cool, cool.
It makes sense. And so that's a big side of why people get graded. But there's if you talk about people with personal collections, they just want to get it graded and get the best score as well, right?
Yeah, and kind of like what you're doing with your Ken Griffey Jr. auto, right? You're more just preserving the condition of the card as it is. Because let's talk Michael Jordan at this time and matter, right? In 1986, when you pulled your Fleer rookie Michael Jordan, you were hanging out with your buddies, showing that thing off, maybe put it in your bicycle. Hopefully, you didn't put it in your bicycle spoke, but you were playing with the card, right?
Right.
That's why there's not a lot of tens of that particular card out there on the market, not a lot of nines, not a lot of eights,
Mhm.
because In 1986, you were playing with the cards. Well, now fast forward 30, 40 plus years, we now understand, hey, these can hold some value to certain people, and they can hold a lot of value if they're pristine in good condition. And so right now, that's what a lot of people I think are trying to get into. I can get that card and I can be the first one here. And in 40 years, this may be here.
Mhm.
But that's probably where PSA's gotten into like why they're so backed up because of how much of that they are actually doing. And a lot of those cards, we're not trying to expect that in 30,
Mm.
40, 50 years, right? It's kind of one of those things where, oh, hold on, let me tell this to the DoorDash
No
guy.
worries. No,
Sorry, I'm in the
yeah,
office with like 30 other people here. So
you're
DoorDash,
working. I get
it
it.
is lunchtime, so DoorDash does come and go. That's why when I saw Tip Treats, I was like, "Ooh, who is the lucky person here?" But
They
that's
get
also
first
kind of
dibs.
yeah. We are the first office, so we always get to see who it is. But no, that's kind of one of the things that we are trying to help with in the card spa as well. Is inform people. Yes, grading is a quick way to 5x your money. Grading the right things is a quick way to 5x your money, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of the other thing when we were talking the other night. PSA has kind of come out and started saying that, right? There's other companies that offer cheaper rates, maybe faster turnarounds, that you can send those lesser cards to and still see a profit, maybe
Mhm.
not 5x, but you could 2, 3x your money, just depend on what you're doing, right? And I think that's kind of something that PSA is trying to in turn do with some of the collectors and graders in that sense is, hey, we will grade anything and everything that you guys are going to send to us. But at the end of the day, does this make sense for anything, right?
Right.
I'm not going to shame on any players in this moment right here and now, but let's take player X that hasn't done anything. Might get a starting job this year. They kind of did in the college world, but they just never really turned the needle. And we're grading 100,000 of this dude's cards.
Right.
Doesn't make much sense.
Yep. No, that's great. So, back to CardSpot Texas. So, what you guys do is you basically prep the cards for the customers, for collectors, and then
Mhm.
you actually will send to the grading company on their behalf as well. Correct?
Yeah. So what we do is we have a report card. So every card that comes in for our service gets a report card. So if there's something that we can't fix or something that we know is going to ding you in the grading sense, we mark that on the report card and we give a pre-grade, whether it's PSA or Beckett or SGC. We kind of try and round it all together for the grading companies and let the customer know, hey, this is what we're seeing on the card. This is what we're kind of predicting it will get at the grading company. From there, the customer can let us know, nope, I don't want to send that off because it's not going to do too well. Or, yeah, hey, let's go ahead and send that off. And we'll
Sure.
kind of coach them up on, hey, this is the service level. This is what it costs. This is what it's going to be. And then we have a thing called Slab Tracker that allows our customers to watch their cards through our account, kind of like the Domino's Pizza Tracker. So when they go to our website, TheCardSpaTX, they can type in their order number right in the slab tracker section and it pops up and shows them right where their cards are within our grading accounts.
So it's a full service experience from
Full
the
service, full service. We will take
this
care
yeah.
of you. Pull a card straight out of a pack, put it in a sleeve, put it in a top loader, send us a message saying this card is on the way. We will take care of everything from paperwork to getting it shipped to PSA to getting it back and making sure it is back in your hands. And it's
Yep.
tracked the entire process for our customer to be able to see we're not hiding anything. There's no profile, there's no logins. Go to our website, type in your number. It's right then and there.
Is it just for sports? Is it for modern day? What else do you do at Card Spa?
So we hit on sports, TCG, and vintage.
Okay.
Gavin's with us. He's our TCG guy. He's pretty heavy in the Pokemon space, and he's learning the One Piece stuff. But man, that exploded so fast.
Out of
It's if
nowhere.
you yeah, if you weren't just watching the show beforehand, we know Monkey D. Luffy. We cheer for him. We cheer for him. But no, for the Pokemon stuff, there's actually a lot more that we can do in the TCG world than the modern sports world.
Cool.
Vintage and TCG are probably our two heavy hitters just
Hmm.
because we can do things anywhere from soaking a card fully to removing stains, rebuilding corners, taking dents out, to putting it in the humidor and letting the card kind of turn into like Like if this is your card, I let it kind of turn into a taco and pressing it back out so that everything
Sure.
kind of goes back to where it needs to be, right? There's lots of different ways and methods. The hard part with the modern sports is kind of think about taking a piece of foil, right? You crumple up that piece of foil and then you lay it out flat. You take an iron, you do all what you want to it, you'll get that piece of foil flat, but you'll always kind of see where that wrinkle may have been, right?
Sure.
That's kind of the tricky part is, hey, I can lay it flat and get it back to where it needs to be, but sometimes depending on the damage or depending on the condition of the card, we're not going to be able to fully fix it to the extent.
That makes a
And
lot of
that's
sense. That's a good analogy. So when you think of gem rate, right?
mhm.
From your experience, you've been doing this for a long time, and your colleagues, what product does well typically, and what product doesn't do well in your
So
experience?
I'm big on football. I use gymrate.com. It's a great website. You can find all this information that I'm kind of going to spiel down for you. For me, football is my passion. That's what I watch every Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday. I
Oh
know
yeah.
the teams, I know the players, I keep up with that stuff.
Mhm.
So we'll use football as our example. This year in particular for 2025. Mosaic was your top choice, which is
Interesting.
kind of funny because when you look at the market, Mosaic cards don't really tick the needle for anybody. Right off the bat, you can get some first to market type sales.
Hmm.
But when football season comes around, it's not like my Mosaic Jackson Dart PSA 10 is
Right.
$500 plus, right? It's around that 100 to 300 range, depending on the card of what you got. And so that was kind of a funny one. The case hits in Mosaic were all pretty well clean as well, except
Interesting.
for the stained glasses. The last 2 years, the stained glasses have not been good. Centering
Really
issue, very, very bad centering issue.
interesting.
And so that's kind of one things there. Topps Chrome. Topps has got the license back now, right?
Yeah.
So if you want a couple little statistics on that, Topps Chrome football is hovering around that 20 to 25% gem rate. It's not
Okay.
good. It's not good. It's
What
a
what does
great
good what
set.
does good look like, John?
Uh, it's not getting a lot of nines. You're
Okay.
seeing a lot of eights. You're seeing a
Ooh.
lot of eights.
Yep.
And it's straight QC issues. I will say if you're going Topps Chrome hunting, stick to the let's see, this is May 13th. So I am talking about the second run of
Hmm.
the Topps Chrome Mega Box football.
Yep. Yep.
The X fractors out of those have been fairly clean. The lime green ones, pink ones have had a pretty good centering issue, but the condition of the card is good itself.
Got it.
And then the silver X fractors are really good. The waves out of Top Chrome football have been really good. The lavas and the true colors have been very rough, very, very
Okay.
rough.
So
Um,
green X Factors, the waves, those are the maybe the two that are looking good
kind
in
of where
general.
I would stick for if you're trying to find like, hey, these are the ones that I need to go for and like have good certainty to. Those are the ones I just gave up all my eBay findings. But yeah, yeah. That's that's
Now they're
that's what
all
I've been
gone.
buying on eBay. Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, TripleJ Sports. I'll still buy them. But yeah, no, that's what I've been hunting. Now, Topps Chrome basketball, it stayed around that 30 to 40%. I think it's actually around
Okay.
that 34% range right now. Which when you look at Prism, if we're going to compare apples to oranges here, right? Prism and Panini, Prism was never really that good either. It stays below that 40% range. And
Mhm.
so it's just kind of, it typically has a centering issue. WNBA Prism, it looks like the clear coat didn't get put on the cards.
Jeez, really? It's
So
that
yeah,
bad?
it's pretty bad as well, which sucks because Paige is having such a great rookie year and like just coming out, or she did have a great rookie year and having a great
Yep.
sophomore year. The wings are looking really, really good, which Jason is super excited about. So hearing all of that, but yeah, I'm hoping select WNBA turns out better. Select,
This isn't really related to what you do, but I'm interested to discuss this because, historically the Prism Silver Rookie has been like the benchmark of your rookie card, right?
yeah, yeah.
You know, but now with Topps Chrome taking the NFL licenses, you look at this year's Prism, which I think are beautiful, and you take a
Mhm.
look at the Topps Chrome, which are good. I wonder, like 5 years from now, which card will be valued more, a Jackson Dart Silver Prism or a Jackson Dart Refractor Topps Chrome? What are your initial
My
thoughts?
my opinion, it will be Prism.
Okay,
And truly because it's the last year of Prism. The first year of Topps Chrome will have some things to it, but the last year of Prism, because think of when we were still in the Panini era, right? That last year of Topps Chrome, or those last couple years of Topps Chrome, and those first couple years of Topps Chrome, they
yep,
kind of held a premium within the Topps Chrome line.
good
And I
point.
kind of feel like that's going to be the same. Uh, but I don't think it's going to be the silvers because, and I can't remember the exact year, but there was a time when in Panini Prism, you only got silvers out of hobby boxes and you only got one silver per hobby box. They weren't a
Sure.
retail thing. You couldn't get them out of
They're
blasters
super
or
elusive.
hangers.
Yeah,
They were
yeah,
super hard to get.
yeah.
And, if you look back at 25, 24, 23, even 22, there's a lot of silvers for a lot of these players. And I was actually talking to another guy or customer of mine about this. When you're talking about rarity and scarcity, I think there's truly going to be a big swing here pretty soon because, yeah,
Mhm.
that's rare. That's cool. I will never, ever, ever see this again.
True.
That's one thing I think the hobby needs to figure out. And when they do figure it out, I think the market will kind of calm itself down in a little bit of a sense.
Hmm.
Because yeah, downtowns are cool. They're super rare in 2020. Um,
Yeah,
and it just kind of
not so
got
much.
worse. And that's kind of like somebody interviewed us the other day for The Office, and they said, "What's your most overrated take in the hobby?" And I said, "Unnumbered case hits. If it's numbered, I know how many there are.
Hmm.
If it's not numbered, an ultra rare case hit has a pop count of 25,000. Like, I don't really know how that's an ultra rare case hit, right? So
I don't even want to know how mass produced the downtowns were this year. It's
yeah,
like,
I'm a
oof,
Kaboom guy personally. The Kabooms always
so
seem
much
to
more
have a
rare.
little bit more rarity to them, right? Especially the vertical Kabooms. And I like the way the Kabooms look. They didn't ever get AI'd, it seemed. Where
True.
the downtowns, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. Downtowns are super cool. But when you work at shows enough and everybody's coming up to you and just downtown, 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 and
Yeah.
I don't know, I use the analogy a lot. Am I spending $20 to make $10? Because
Hmm.
I gotta quit doing that. That doesn't
Yeah.
seem to make a lot of sense in my
No,
in my
it's a good
eyes.
point.
And when you're
That's a
at the
good point.
Dallas Card Show, that's all everybody's doing. They're
I know.
spending $20 to go make $10 on a
Pretty
downtown.
much. Pretty much. Yeah, I don't, as a streamer, I don't touch downtowns. It's
It's not
just,
fun anymore.
well, I just like for $500, I'm not a high-end streamer either. So, if I drop $500, I'll most likely break even or even lose if I try to sell it. But I could take that $500 and buy a bunch of really nice $20 to $25 cards and
Hmm.
profit on those. So
Well, and if you're
it's
talking about a
economics.
grading standpoint too, right? Like, unless it is the guy or a rookie, you don't see much of a multiplier on downtowns, especially
You're
on a
right.
lot of the vet downtowns, right? You
Yeah.
might see $100 difference, and at the end of the day, you probably spent that $100 trying to get it graded to then go sell it at a percentage. I, I don't
That's a
know.
good point. I mean, a PSA 9 downtown is exactly what it would be for raw. Raw will actually be more expensive sometimes.
A hundred
So it's
percent.
like, yeah, it's 10 or bust, and then you might see a multiplier, but not a huge multiplier.
Yeah, and you may
Yeah,
be able
that
to look at this one like Patrick Mahomes would be a good baseline to use. I want to say his Donruss downtown out of this year, what, probably 700, $800, maybe closer to 1,000 as we get closer to the season.
mhm,
I want to say it's like 15 to $1,700 in a PSA 10.
not even double.
If I'm spending close to $1,000, I better double my money. Like, I'm just saying,
I would
like
agree.
if I'm going to Oklahoma to play on the slots in the casino, then if I'm spending some money, I better be doubling some money.
Let's talk success stories. So you've been doing this for a while. Is there one or two cards that kind of stands out to you, John, that you're very proud of, and what's the story there?
um, Not so much just cards in general. I will say like one of the biggest things I'm most proud of keeping and holding on to because we had this question on our last one too. And I was driving home at the end of the night. I was like, man, I kind of wish I had answered that a little bit differently.
Well,
So
now here
so
you go.
here's my chance. Here's my chance. One of the biggest things I'm most proud of is here at the Card Spot with the team of the guys that I have. It like truly we hold a 93% accuracy rating. So we every report card that goes with anything, if we submit it off, we put that report card kind of in like your folder that you had back in school, right? Like we don't send it to the grading companies. I'm not going to do their job for them, but
Right.
I want to know how accurate I'm being, or if I'm being too hard, if I'm not being hard enough. Like I want to know where I'm being if we're gambling on some cards, and
Right.
so we'll reflect back and forth. And so we're at 93%. We are 9 months in and held above 85% since we started.
Nice.
So, I mean, we do break a lot of hearts. We do tell a lot of people every single day, hey, this is just not going to get a 10. It doesn't matter how much we do to it.
Right.
It's not going to happen kind of thing. And so that's the hard part about being in the cards ball is I definitely want to help everybody achieve to get the highest grade that we possibly can. To have that conversation and kind of point people back in the right direction, I enjoy that almost as much just because it's a good teaching moment to where when
Sure.
I try to go make a decision on that same thing, think back to some of the conversations I just had with some of my customers, and it's like, oh, hey, who's the guy standing over my shoulder? Just hey, man, it's just not going to happen. Go take your profit because you can go make profit right now.
Yep.
And that's kind of one of the biggest things I've been proud of with these guys as well is we've done a really good job of that to the point of in 9 months we have fulfilled over 2,000 orders, like
Awesome.
cleaning, prepping, and then going to grading as well. So we are absolutely killing it. And then yesterday we actually broke our all-time high sales record.
Heck
So
yeah.
we're doing good. We're breaking some records and we're moving in the right direction. And people are starting to see like, hey, they're not just out here doing things. Like they actually have some knowledge. They're trying to help and they can get it back quick.
I love to hear that. And we're going to talk about my Griffey card soon, speaking of cleaning and prepping. But I'm glad we're doing this, John, because I was speaking to a good friend of mine, I think Josh Dozy, and he wasn't even aware that these kind of services were even out there. And
Mhm.
he's got a PC card that he's nervous about grading this and that. And I said, well, have you ever heard there's services out there like CardSpot Texas that'll actually take your card, prep it, and actually ship it to, the grading company of your choice. And he had no idea. So I hope this helps. Like, I mean, if
No,
people are
yeah.
looking great,
All the
it,
social media stuff is
it,
tremendously helping. So everybody that shares stories or like even when they send us cards and they post their either happy story or man, that kind of sucks. I wish I had done X, Y, and Z. Both we take both stories and we share them both on our Instagram, right? If you're
yeah,
tagging us, I'm sharing it because I want everybody to see like it doesn't always end up good for everybody, but 93% of the time it's ending up really good, right?
I don't see
So
why. I mean, personally, I don't see why you wouldn't utilize a service like yours, especially if you're because it's going to be a 3 month investment anyway, right? So why
mhm.
not do it the right way? So I had the pleasure of sending over a Ken Griffey Jr. auto to John,
Yeah,
and
so let me kind of work with
okay.
the iPad here and see how I flip around.
So
I
he
remember I
received it.
did this the other
He
night.
received it a couple weeks ago, and so he's going to kind of walk us through a little of what he's done thus far and kind of what the condition is.
Don't fall over on me here, iPad. I always forget how awkward weighted an iPad is, so you gotta like get it perfectly to where it needs to be. Okay, so you had this Griffey, and really what I was trying to work on mostly was this upper right corner right here.
Hmm.
And so I don't know if I can get it in the light just right, but you can see just a little bit of how it was kind of bent right there.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
so to not affect the auto across the front, I'm only working through the back of the card itself. And so it may still be a little bit moist.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
But so essentially what I'm doing, set it over here, is we spray the back of the pad. So that way we can slowly start to introduce moisture to it, and you can kind of see exactly where the card was sitting because it was
Of
soaking
course.
up the moisture, right? And
Yep.
so from there, what I will end up doing is I can show a little bit here working around that. Hey Jackson, how's it going, bud? And so what we're initially going to try and do here, let me kind of get it to where the camera can see. It's taking your
Yep.
fancy dancy tool, and now that the card has some moisture to it, more or less just kind of trying to put it back to where it needs to be. Now there is a little bit of that color loss just from where the bend was,
Of course.
but ultimately, if the corner just is shaped how it should be, it looks better.
Very
So,
cool. And so yeah, I'm gonna have Texas Card Spot send this on my behalf. We're gonna get it authenticated and graded. So I'm excited to see
the
what you
auto
guys
is
can do with this.
super clean. Because what I was going to suggest on it, just with how much color loss and paint's just missing from the back, is just really auto grading this in general. Because
I'm fine with that too. Yep.
yeah, that's what I was going to suggest. Just because I mean, when you look at his auto, there's nothing that skips. There's not any color that's missing. The kid signs good, man. What can you say? He does not shine. He does
They
not
don't
sign
they don't
like
sign
Shaq
like they
does.
used to, do they, John? They don't
They
sign
do
like they
not.
used to.
They do not. And that's man, God. Somebody teach Anthony Richardson how to sign a card, please,
Ah, Pickens, we're
please,
looking at
please.
you as
I'll
well.
name somebody out. Yeah, Pickens. Come on now, you're in Dallas. You're right down the street. I'm like, I see the star when I leave my office. I'll go have a word with him. Actually,
Yeah, have some
now
pride in your work, damn it.
Cooper Flag, we're getting close here, bud.
It's cool because it's got style. Do you know what I mean? Like who's love to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
Jordan Love, right? Jordan Love. It's simple
Or
but
God,
perfect.
if you think of LeBron, right? LeBron now does his little thing and he puts a crown on top because he's.
Sure. Sure, LeBron. By the way, did you just get swept, LeBron? That's cool. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh,
We didn't say it. We
um,
didn't say it. Y'all did. Y'all did.
we're just asking questions here. So what do you like the most about from the uh, oil fields to streaming just for fun. Now this is your full-time job, and I can tell like if anyone's watching this, you can tell it's honest, raw emotion. You can tell you love what you do, John. So what would you say is your favorite part of this of your gig?
It was man, I have thought about it a lot here recently because of a couple of my certifications that I worked pretty hard to get have I let them lapse. And that was one of those things where it was literally last week one of my confined space rescue certifications finally it just lapsed. And it
Mm,
was kind of one of those where it was like, man, that's a little over $1,500 to go redo that class. I'm not doing that type of stuff anymore, but I legitimately started doing that when I was 18 years old. I went to college for a little bit, kind of did what everybody does in college, had my fun, a little too much fun, had my
mhm.
come to Jesus with my parents, and decided, hey, I need to go get a big boy job and figure out what the real world is. And so I chose blue collar and went out to the oil fields right I think I was like 19 or 20 when I finally got out there.
Yeah.
And I worked my butt off and I did that. When the slow time was there, I came back, did construction. When the fast time picked back up, I went right back out and just kind of did what every blue collar oil guy does, right? You just chase the money until the money's not there anymore.
Mhm.
Um, like you were saying at the very beginning, I have a young family. So at a certain point, my wife was starting to ask, hey, can you start being home a little more often and quit sending me pictures of doing crazy stuff all the time? And so, as a good husband, I figured I would start to listen to my wife a little bit, maybe come home, start
Smart.
to settle down a little bit. And so, I wanted to find something that kept me still interested. And so, when I first left the oil fields, I went to go be a superintendent for a water park company. They built water parks throughout the state of Texas. I hated every minute of it. It just, as crazy as it sounds, the oil field was very organized chaos. It
Mhm.
was chaotic, but it was very organized in how we did
Sure.
it. Working for that company, I very much was like, ooh, I miss the organized
Yeah, the
chaos,
structure. Yeah,
the
yeah.
structure of everything. And so it truly drove me to like for a month straight, every day when I got done working, I went home, got on my iPad, got on Chat GPT, and just started figuring out because people were still sending me cards to help them clean and prep. And I was doing that on the side. And I was really
Yeah.
like, how can I scale this? How can I scale this? And so talking with Chat GPT back and forth every night, running numbers, crunching different things, trying to figure out, could I do this full time? Like, could I even
Mhm.
make it go full time? And then two Kings, Zach, Jackson, Dustin, the guys that I partnered with, they
Mhm.
nonetheless, they started ramping up in their industry and they were doing repacks and singles and they were actually doing really heavy in the streaming world. And so I decided they reached out and said, hey, would you want to come over and kind of take over our grading operations and maybe see if you can scale your customer side of things up? And so after some discussions with them and figuring out all the fine details, decided to jump on board, quit oil and gas and construction altogether, and just said, screw it, let's got the wife's permission. And that's
That's
very
huge.
important. And anybody that wants to go out and do
Huge.
this, make sure that you have your wife's permission or whoever, or whatever it may be, right? Get permission first before you go on
Amen to
this
that.
adventure. And just make
You're a
sure
smart
they're
man.
comfortable with it because you can ask her, it was a very stressful first couple months, right? I
I
came
bet
home.
it is.
I'm not business guy. I'm oil and gas guy. You tell me to go build you a house, I can build you the house. I can't sell you the house.
Right.
Just, I do where my limits were. So partnering with these guys that knew how to run a business, develop a business, and truly get what I needed and the pieces I was missing, kind of here for me, help me ramp up. And then, I mean, again, I think I'm not going to count this week because it's Dallas Card Show week, but last week we did a little over 2,000 cards in the office. So
Wow.
getting shipped in, local drop offs, everything. I think we had like four people drop off 100 plus cards each in their orders. So getting all that done, and it was all within a week turnaround. So, I mean, again,
Mm.
kudos to my guys and my team and everybody that helps us out with all that kind of stuff. But I mean, truly, it was a lot of fun. And now here I am looking back at it like, holy crap, this is a business that's actually striving and like we're kicking off. We gained 2,500 new followers on Instagram last month.
Hmm.
So that was super cool. And we did a couple giveaways for that. So trying to reach back out to the community and help as much as we can. But I mean, truly we are a 3-man team, right? And
Hmm.
I think I talked about this last time too. We are a 3-man team. We do probably put about 10 hours a day up here. So, I mean, we're constantly going at it. Gavin is on the computer from 9 o'clock in the morning, I think, till 7 o'clock at night, chit chatting with new people from Instagram, TikTok, email, phone calls, text messages. I mean, we're getting it all. And he was coming in trying to figure out how to kind of learn to fix his Pokemon cards better.
Hmm.
And because we ramped up so fast, he had to get forced more into that role. So when we have time, he jumps in and helps us with some of the Pokemon stuff. But
Nice.
he's doing a lot of the consultations for the TCG world where I already know how to do the repairs, I know how to fix it, I know how to do things. So if you can tell me that it's not Charizard and it's worth a lot and you need it to do this, I can do that.
Right.
But if it's not Charizard, please go to Gavin. And
Well, a
then,
couple of things. So, well, congratulations on your success. It's I love to hear it. And so it's a great segue into my final question. Is it
yeah,
sounds like business is booming. You're at a point where you're able to scale with the growth, but eventually it kind of sounds like you may need to add more employees or get a bigger office. So what's the plan for the rest of the year? What are some of the goals you have?
so the rest of the year is just kind of continue with what we're going, keep growing, and then every month I'm walking into Dustin's office showing, hey, this is how much we've grown. In the last month, so from February to March, we doubled our submissions, and then from March to February, we had tripled our
Wow.
number of submissions. So again, please, please, please keep sending it in because we're trying to move to bigger and better things. We're trying to figure out a better little office location space because we are in the heart of Frisco right here, but it isn't like an actual office. Like there's a construction company across the hall. There's actual
Mhm.
other companies that are here. So when they hear TikTok and whatnot streamers in the background screaming and yelling, I don't know, doing all that, they raise some questions. They ask, they're kind of looking in the window like, what in the
Yeah.
heck is going on back there? And then they see us with all our t-shirt presses and
Sure.
all our tools and things that we're doing. There are a lot of questions that are asked in this building, right? But no, continue to grow and continue to build it. And honestly, just kind of see our 1 year will be like end of August going into September. So ask me again in 4 months because after
I
I've hit
will.
a year, I would like to kind of say, hey, this is what we did in a year. This is what I'm planning on doing in the next year type thing.
Awesome. So I'm going to put you on the spot. So if someone is
Yep.
watching this and they say, you know what, I've got some cars I've been looking to grade. I would love to have John take a look at them. What kind of, do you have a deal or a discount for them?
So if they're watching this and they use what Joel-ATX, they will get
Sure.
25% off their first purchase,
Dang.
off prep services
Yes,
alone.
of course.
So just because when it comes to how we structure our pricing, when you decide to send to grading, when PSA tells me, hey John, it is $35 for this guy to grade, we come back to you and say, hey Joel, it's 35 bucks. That's
Yeah.
it. So our PSA rate for a bulk is 40 bucks. Um,
Perfect.
$35 to get out sent to grading, $5 for prep. If you just want it prepped, we have a separate charge for that as well. And it works from 1 to 19, 20 to 49, and then 50 plus. So we're trying to get as many bulk deals for people as we possibly can. And then again, we're throwing out coupon codes for everybody that we possibly can. So if y'all use Joel-ATX at checkout, you get 25% off your prep services.
That is awesome. That's incredibly generous of you too. So you're about to get busier, hopefully. So
Bring
so
it
if someone
on, bring
says,
it on.
where do they find you? How do they get the ball rolling?
So you can find us on the internet, TheCardSpa.com, Instagram, TheCardSpaTX, and then Instagram is just TheCardSpa.
Okay.
And then our phone number and all that information is listed on there as well. Feel free to call, text, email, whatever. Like I said, Gavin is watching it all. Jason's submitting as many cards as he possibly can. And when I'm not talking to people, I'm cleaning as many as I possibly can too, right? So it's been a lot of fun and we're rocking and rolling. But
Yeah,
you
man.
know, we are a 3-man team, so bear with us just a little bit. We promise within a week, if your cards are here on Monday, by Friday, you will either have them in the mail or have them out the submission.
That's awesome.
That's kind of our little, hey, give us a week, give us a week.
Well, just to wrap this up, I think take two was very successful. Great job.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say check, check, check. Are they still on? You were still
Yes, audio,
responding to me,
no
right?
audio.
So
And for the record, that was my fault. My stupid microphone wasn't picking it up, so it had nothing to do with
yeah.
John. But what a pleasure is to catch up with you. Congratulations, newborn daughter, by the way. Girls are the
Thank you,
best. I
thank
got
you.
two of them. And obviously, we'll keep in touch. I'll see you at the Dallas Card Show in September, hopefully.
Yeah, and if y'all are in the area, come see us in the Frisco. We are literally right here next to the Star. I think it's like 5 minutes from the Star. So if you're in the DFW area, feel free to come up. We do have little drop-off locations throughout the DFW area as
Nice.
well. So if you do see a Cards Ball sign inside your LCS, that's us. We're picking up once a week from those guys. So look for more LCSs in the future as well. We're trying to reach out to as many as we can to kind of take the weight off their shoulders and help them
Yeah.
out, right? But yeah, no, reach out to us, get us more cards, use those discount codes, and man, if y'all are at Dallas Card Show, come see us in the Starlight Room.
Awesome. Keep up the great work, man. Great to see you
Thank you,
again.
sir. Headphones on.
So we meet again.
Meet again on completely different circumstances. Wow.
Yeah, so I was actually I've had a busy week. I'm actually gonna start editing but I was like, before I edit, like we gotta do another interview. We gotta
I was
talk
gonna
about
say, man, how the turntables have turned.
how the turns have been tabled. Yeah, so I mean, we're already recording, so we'll just jump right in. I mean, we're
Oh,
gonna do
okay,
a
yeah, yeah.
you guys, unless you're living on a rock, PSA has pretty much shelved their four bottom tiers. The value bulk, value plus, and value max have been shelved. They have 10 million in backlog. They're saying it can take up to 4 months. So this obviously has a direct impact on the hobby. It obviously impacts Jonathan and the team as well. So just wanted to get your take on it. Kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, no, the last 48 hours have definitely been a bunch of excitement. Now, granted, when we kind of saw this coming down the pipe about a month ago, because in Japan they have already done this and it has already been in effect for pretty close 2 weeks to a month at this point. So if you've been a
Interesting.
customer of ours or just been kind of in the pipeline or following us on the socials, we've been kind of putting out a few warnings here and there. Oh, it's really zooming in on you. Um,
Anytime I take a drink of coffee, they really want me zoomed in taking coffee. By the way, I love this mug.
I would say it likes the
My dog
that's
Chunk.
just nice, nice. But yeah, no, I mean it was something that kind of started in Japan. So we started telling some of our customers, hey, if you're really heavily relying on these bulk submissions or just value submissions, you need to start planning accordingly and kind of texting some people back and forth and having some conversations with other people as well. But truly, I mean that's kind of what it boils down to. You shouldn't be relying on value submissions for what you're doing in the hobby per se, especially if you're doing this full time. You need to be relying on those bigger flips. Again, yeah, those five, the $5, those lower end cards definitely help make or break it on a lot of things, and they can definitely help you if you're having a bad sub on the higher end things. But at the end of the day, we don't need to be sending every single card into grading, right? And one of the big things is TCG. If you guys follow Gym Rate or look at Gym Rate or do anything like that, they are heavily posting like, hey, this is how much PSA is grading in a day, a week, and by the month. TCG is outweighing sports, and I'm talking baseball to tennis sports, right? Everything
Crazy.
in between. It
Hmm.
is 5xing to sometimes 7xing sports. TCG is, and it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, hold on, hold on. I'm a sports guy predominantly. I do dabble in TCG, maybe not Pokemon all the way, but I'll do the Marvel. I'll do some Pokemon with the kid every once in a while, but man, we're sending 70,000 cards or they're grading 70,000 cards a day TCG. And then sports, again, baseball to tennis, we're only doing like 20,000 a day. That's math ain't mathin'. Math ain't mathin'. And if you look over a month, I think it's like 1.5 million for TCG. And it's little less than a million, or it's not even close to a million for sports.
So the nerds
So
are taking over, is what you're saying, Jonathan. The nerds are
you
taking
said
over.
that, not me, not me, not me,
My
because
words.
I love TCG. We enjoy our TCG customers just as much, just because we can do more for the TCG world. But
Absolutely.
again,
So given the current events, and I know you've been tracking this for a while. This isn't a surprise to you, and it's probably good in the long run that they're doing it. So what can collectors do now? Like, what are their options?
well, there are lots of options out there. I mean, you could go as far as, hey, we don't have to send everything to PSA. You can send to Beckett, you can send to SGC, there's FCG, there's CGC, there's all these different companies that come to the pipeline. And if you go back to when COVID, this happened during COVID, right? All those companies got a spike. SGC was actually the biggest of them, right? They had a 15 business day turnaround. It was $15 plus shipping back and
Oh
forth.
yeah.
I mean, you could absolutely crush on some of those cards. Did they see PSA levels? No, no, they never saw those PSA pricing. Did you see a multiplier that made sense to send certain cards to those certain levels? Yeah. And I think that's ultimately what PSA is doing with this shutdown is they said, hey, look, we warned you. We said it's taking longer, so we're going to up our prices. You guys sent in more. Okay, cool. We warned you and we said, hey, we are backlogged 10 million cards. It's going to take even longer at this point at the beginning of May or end of April going into May, right? Now here we are at the end of May going into June saying we warned you twice. You guys still sent in record numbers. There was somebody that tried to boycott PSA. They still said they got record numbers after that little post went through.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, guys, you're not listening to us. This is not what you're supposed to be grading. Stop sending it. That's it.
Yeah.
Mom and
And
dad
now
said
and
that's enough. We're taking the toys and we're going to our room.
yeah, pretty much. And now that they actually set a date, we're June 2nd, just imagine the massive influx that they're going to get hammered in over
Yeah.
the next 2 or 3 days. And so
Because
that.
all these
Another,
people,
you
you basically stirred FOMO to the absolute top, and we're seeing it here in the office, right? We definitely had some orders where we were trying to play some catch up on. I think we were at about a 4 day turnaround
know.
as of yesterday, and literally we are pushing as hard as we can. I think we are 3 orders left until we are completely caught up and there are no more orders in the queue. So that way, all our customers, basically, if you're seeing this before the deadline and you had an order here at the card spot, it is done and it is ready for you to tell us, do you want us to submit it or do you not want us to submit it? And we'll keep our submissions all the way open until Monday afternoon. And I think it's like Monday at 1, we're going to call it quits just because we're going to
Okay.
make sure that we can get everything logged. The hard stop is Tuesday, June 2nd
I
at
was gonna ask.
12
Okay.
Central Time.
Got it. Okay.
So it is a hard stop. I believe from what I have read and seen, they are just straight pulling that from the website. So you won't even
Wow.
be able to submit it. So you must have it submitted on the website before that date and time.
Got it. Okay. Noted. Cool. Well, thank you for that information. Well, yeah, how topical is this? Anything else to add? Since I got
So I mean, kind of to piggyback off what you were just saying, they have 10 million in the backlog, right? So with this FOMO thing that's kicking in, you have to expect there's probably another 2 or 3 million that's coming in the mail, right? If
Mhm.
not more than that, I would assume the backlog is probably going to be closer to that 15 million because they're never going to tell us the true number, right?
No
But
way.
hey, at least they told us a number. Um,
True.
if you do some quick mental math at 10 million cards 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Mhm.
30 seconds a card is the what we're told PSA gets per card. That is 238 days, not business days. That's 238 calendar days. That is a
Um,
business year. So I I hope everybody is seeing this and exploring all your options. Again, there's plenty of other companies that are out there,
yep.
and we can submit to those companies. And if anything, prep is definitely should be looked at a lot different now. You should be
Hmm.
really trying to prep your cards, paying attention to what your preppers are telling you. Hey, if they're saying don't chance this, don't gamble on it, chances are we're trying to help you save some time and money. We're trying to help you save time. And don't freak
Absolutely.
out. We have seen this before. You can go back in time and look at the COVID stuff at the end of 2020, going into 21, when PSA did this before. The single market still did rise some. The slab market will continue to rise. And if anything, I think this will truly help the PSA 9s and PSA 8s. They're going to have a market because 10s are going to become more scarce. You're not going
Hmm.
to sell them for the same multiplier. And if I can't get my cards back for 238 calendar days,
Ooh.
best believe I'm not selling my PSA 9 for raw or less.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point. And this impacts the beginning of the NFL season all the way through December when you think about it, right? And
there will
so
be very little Jackson Darts and Cam
there will
Wards and
be.
all your prospects. Now, granted, the 25 draft class wasn't all that strong. So I think that
Sure.
kind of like, hey, if you were going to do it now. Because could you imagine this being 23 or 24 when we had the CJ Stroud craze, the Jaden Daniels craze?
Hmm.
I mean, all those quarterbacks that came out to the draft,
Yeah.
that would have been scary.
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, Jonathan, it's going to impact the this upcoming rookie class too. So let's say Jeremiah Love and Carnell Tate come up,
Yeah.
just destroying the first week or two. I mean,
And here's a good
well,
question for you.
yeah,
Does that help the Bowman College market with tops? Because the only cards these players will have will be Bowman U.
very
And
true.
God forbid us pure hobbyists go buy a college football card,
Gasp.
Oh, man, but I have to have his auto. He's playing out of this world. It's in a college uniform. Oh, I mean, that's truly what it's going to come down to. Is I truly think the collectors are sitting in the back doing one of these,
Yeah,
and all the TikTok or whatnot people are sitting in the back going,
the sky's falling.
"What
Yeah.
is
Oh
happening? What
no.
do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?"
The
And of
hobby is
course,
strong. They're going to adapt. This is
the
awesome. So,
money's still flowing. I didn't see the chart drop overnight on card ladders, so that's still a good thing. And again, buy your goats, invest correctly. And if you're going to invest and try to put more money into your investment, make sure it's a smart investment. Don't put something into a quarterback that's playing right now and he's going to break his leg or throw 5 interceptions
or go
Yeah.
decide he's going to be a rapper next year, and you just wasted all that time and money.
Just be
Your
smart.
Jordans, your Birds, your Brady's, you could still do
Oh,
Mahomes
Kobe.
and
Yeah.
Burrow,
Yeah.
Kobe, all that stuff,
Allen.
but I truly think you're going to see a massive spike in that market too, just because
Mhm.
again, now we're all going to go buy smarter.
That's a good point.
Oh, I don't think you'll be seeing that 85, 90% for those types of players anymore. It's going to be
Nope.
100%.
I think you're right. So I appreciate the time, man.
Yeah, man, of course. This was fun and wow.